Hey, hi everyone. Hope all of you are doing great. Today, I directly welcome you into the lab. So we'll understand in this video a bit different way. We'll understand through the task, right? So our first task over here is there is a user one, right? Is to provide internet to the user one. User one wants to access the internet, and that is right here, right? So as you can see, the user one have the two path via the router two, one path, another path to access the internet via the router three. So this user one having two path to access the internet. So we'll check one by one whether he is able to get the internet or not, right? So he's not be able to get the internet first. So let me check from the router one, right? So first what we'll do, we'll check whether iBGP summary, because we have to check the BGP neighborship is there or not, right? So it is up, BGP neighborship is established with router 2 and 3, right? Now what we'll check whether we have route or not. Alright, so we can see over here only one network is showing over here, that is also locally configured or locally originated, right? So the issue is that we are not getting the route. So let's check to the router 2. So router 2 is also not getting the network, right? So somehow the problem might be with the router 4. He might be having some issue with the BGP neighborship. Now the BGP neighborship is successfully established, so we will check whether he is advertising the network or not, right? So here we can see he is not advertising this network, the 8.8.8 network, right? That's what he is not advertising, and other router is not getting the network. So first what we'll do, we'll advertise this network. Right, so now other router should get this network. Let me check from the router 1 over here. Okay, so we are getting the route, right? Now we are getting the route. Now user one should get the internet access. Very well. Okay, let me check. 8.8.8, right? You should get. Okay, again it is time out. Why it is? Okay, let me check again from the router 1 with the right. We have route in both the network, still we are not be able to reach. Let me check to the router 2 whether he is able to reach. Okay, so router 2 is be able to reach the internet, right? But we are getting the route, still we are not be able to reach into the internet, right? So this router 2 is be able to reach over here, but we are not be able to, right? Though this network is advertising we have the network. So what is happening again, we have to check. So what is happening? So iBGP. Okay, so fine. Okay guys, but do you notice one thing, guys? That is this. So for this network, there is no best path, right? You can see over here. That is how you can check valid and best. But for this guy, for this network, this traffic is not, the best path is not showing, right? There is, so we have to check whether it is installed in the forwarding base or not. It is. Let me check. Okay, so this is the network is not valid or best, right? Valid but not best. So IP safe. So I think yeah. So what is happening over here, that is this network he has learned. So who has learned? Router port has learned the router 1 network, that is the 10.10.10.0. That is fine. But thing is that he has learned, but he has it is not installed in the forwarding information base or safe table, right? Why? Because it is showing the next hop is 2.1 and 1.1, but over here you can see 2.1 and 2.1 and 1.1 is in different network. So this router 4 don't know about this 1.1 and 2.1. So this is happening because see in BGP there is a default rule, or in default BGP configuration, the eBGP neighbor, right? So whenever any router advertise any NLRI, like NLRI is nothing but a prefixes or network. Whenever he is advertised to any network, it will not change his next hop attribute. It's keep as it is, right? So this router 1 is saying my network is this, my network is this, please advertise this one. To reach this one, to reach this 10.10.10.0 network, your next hop would be 1.1.1, right? So that by stating that he is advertising to router 2, but for router 2 it is fine, right? He can reach over there. But the same thing, router 2 also advertising to his iBGP neighbor without changing the state, the next hop, right? So hope you understand this is the problem, right? And this router 4 don't know about this network, right? So there is solution, right? So how do the return topic will get returned, because it is coming but it is not be able to return, because here after coming over here return topic, he is get confused because he is not be able to reach because he don't know the next hop, right? So there is a solution in BGP that is called, because this network you don't know, and there is solution that is called one solutions. Let me show you that configuration to you. So what happened basically, so we have to declare or state one thing. So one section BGP. So over here we have to say our iBGP neighbor that your next hop would be me, right? Let me clarify over here. He is the next hop, right? Next hop self. This is the command, right? So what this command does basically, let me clarify to you. Please be with me. Yeah. So here it is, right? So what is happening? So he is advertising the network to this router 2 by stating the next hop. He is also advertising the same thing to the iBGP neighbor, but without changing the next hop. He knows the next this network, but to reach this 10 dot network, he has to reach to the 1 dot network, but he don't know, right? So that's what we are using this command, so that router 2 advertise the network 10.10.10 to router 4, stating that your next hop would be me, right? I am your next hop, right? Next hop self, right? So router 2 is saying neighbor, I am would be your next hop whenever you receive route from me, right? Any eBGP network you receive from me. So once I put this command, right? Once I put this command, you can see, go to the router 2, okay, you can see the next hop. Just a minute, it will definitely change. 3.4, okay, just a minute, I have declared 3.4, right? Yeah. So we said the next hop is 2.4. Let me check. It will definitely change. Yeah. See, now you can see the previous one, the next hop would be 1.1 and 2.1. Now the next hop is 3.2, and that is also valid and waste. Now the problem is solutions, right? So now you can reach the internet because your next hop is changed, right? So let me check from here, from the user 1. Where is the user 1? Okay, let me log in. Okay, okay, now the user is able to access the internet. So we have successfully provide the internet access to him. So what we learn, we learn that eBGP whenever advertise learn any eBGP never learn any network, it's not change his next hop. It will advertise the same thing to his iBGP neighbor, and that the that's the create problem. And to solve that problem, we have to configure one command, that is next hop self. Because try to not only concentrate in the next hop self command, concentrate this with this command. What we solve, we change this network. We said you no need to know this network, right? You just do one thing, you just change your next hop and come to me to reach these destinations, right? So router 2 is saying router 4, if you want to reach this 10 network, please come to me in this network, right? 3.2, so that I can help you to reach there, right? The same thing we achieve over the command putting next hop self. Another way, you might think that if this router 4 don't know this network, so we can do one thing, we can advertise this network and get this problem solved, right? So that can also be done, right? So let me show you that one also. So what all you have to do, you have to go to router 2. From there, next hop change, I'm not going to use this network, right? So what is happen over here, again it will be, so you can see here the next hop is as I have removed this command, right? You can see I have removed this command, so that's what again it is showing there is no valid, and that is the next hop. So now we can solve this problem by another way out, that is if we put one command, all right, IP route. The problem, the root cause is the problem, he don't know this network, right? 1.0 network. So what we can do, we can put one command to reach this 1.0 network. You go to where? You go to 3.2, right? Right. So we are saying the root of this problem, what is happening, this guy don't know the network, right? This router 4 don't know this network. So what we are putting the command static route, we are configuring to let know the router 4 your network is there, right? So once you configure this command, automatically problem will be solved. Again, this is another way out. But here problem is that, yeah, immediately the problem is solved, right? It is showing the gateway is 1.1. again it is not changed because I have removed the next hop self. Now I am using the another solution, that is the route command, right? So now you can see the problem is solved. It is also valid because he knows the route, right? So IP route, right? Because it is saying statically I have configured this network, right? He has the reachability to reach this network, right, via 3.2. so this is two way. Another way you can solve this problem via using here that redistribute the network, right? So let me do that one also for you. Okay, just remove this command. Okay, just a minute, I'm removing. Now another solution is that I have to go to router 1. There I have to declare one thing, redistribute connected, right? So we using this command, what I'm doing, whatever is connected with my network, my interface, that will be redistributed, right? So what will happen, this 1.0 network will be advertised to this guy also forward. Yeah, so let me check. Okay, again it will be solved, right? So by this you can see this network he knows, right? and it is installed for this network, right? So yeah, here you can see, because he knows this network, right? You can see I have redistributed the command, right? All right. But thing is that one problem is that is over here you can see ri r greater than I sign. What it mean is rip failure, because it will not allow you to install, because once he put the command redistribute connected. So similarly, he also redistributed 3.0 network also, but 3. Network 4 router already knows, right? So that's what it will be rip failure for this network only, but it will be installed, right? So this is how a problem can be solved it out, right? So hope you understand the problem, right? Problems and solutions, right? Now we will focus to the next task 2, right? In task 1, what we learn, that is the next hop self, the solutions, right? So what is that? Let me summarize that one also. So whenever any router learn any eBGP network from a BGP pair, it is not change his next hop attribute the same way it is advertised to the his neighbor, iBGP neighbor, right? So from here the problem gets created, and to solve it out we have to three-way next hop self, and another one is the static route configuration or register the configuration. But the most best practices is the next hop self, right? So now over here we'll focus another task, that is the task 2. Let me clarify the task first. Okay, so here you can see one FTP server over here, right? Here is the user 2. Now my user 2 don't want to access the internet, but he wants to access the router, the FTP server, right? So let me check first from here. Check 10.10.30.10. okay, so he is not be able to reach though. So okay, did I mistake any host not reachable? Oh, anyway, so host is not reachable, you can see. Let me check from here. 10.10.30.1. okay, he is be able to reach his gateway. So FTP server is be able to reach his gateway. Okay, so run BGP. Okay, so he is not advertising this network. Let me show you. Okay, let me advertise again. 30.0 mask. Not 0, right? So yeah, so I have advertisers, hope you can understand. Here is my FTP server located to 10.10.30.0 network, and his IP is 10.13.30.10, right? So this users is located to 10.10.40.10. he wants to access over here, right? So as we already know, he's not be able to access. So let me check whether we have this route or not. So iBGP. Okay, so it not okay. Oh my god. So we learn two network, that is 8.8.8 and 10.10.10. so what is happening over here? Okay, so this user or this router rather learn this network and this network, but he is not be able to FTP server. This is the problem, right? Somehow we have configured something over here in learning the next hop self. Let me restart all the stops. Okay, I'm stopping and starting, right? Okay, and meanwhile we can do let it be. So okay, so as it's booting, meanwhile we can do one thing. We can watch one movie rather, right? So yeah, so let's have some popcorn and let's watch this movie meanwhile, and let the router boot meanwhile. Okay, so the movie, let's start.
Let me tell you the story background first. There were 4 friends named Router 1, 2, 3, and 4. They were neighbors to each other. Router 2, 3, and 4 lived in sector AS200, while Router 1 lived in sector AS100. One day, they discovered something strange.
Hi Router 1. I have one NLRI update for you. Hello Router 2. Great, please share me an update message. Let me add my ASN. Hey Router 3, I have one NLRI update for you. Oh really Router 1? Please share me an update message. Oh no, stop it. I can't receive. There is my ASN. It will create loop. Hi Router 4. I have one NLRI update for you. Hello Router 2. Okay, please share me an update message. But, dear Router 3, I learned from iBGP neighbor, and, as you are my iBGP neighbor, I can advertise to you, it will create loop. Understood Router 4. Thank you.
I'm a bit more curious after watching that movie, so I think we are a bit closer to that problem, right? So what we are trying, basically we are trying to advertise this network, and it should be available to this router. There is the path where over here it is reachable, right? But in movie says it's different, but we have to check how it's work, right? So what we'll do, we'll generate same thing again, right? Okay, so how do we do that? First check this configuration again. So let me start from scratch, right? Scratch in the sense I'm going to stop the advertising and I will advertise again, but not now. I want to see something, whether the story is correct or not. What we are going to do, we are going to advertise the same thing over here again, but we have to see something. How do I check that? Only one option is debug, right? iBGP. We in story, what they're saying in story, they're saying send the update message. So we have to check the update, right? In and out. So we have to see what basically happen whenever we are trying to advertise according to that story, man. Okay, so what happened over here? Oh my god, the story is true. Whatever we just saw here, it's saying this is the network, right? And merge AS path, he is adding his own AS, and that the same story over here. So we just saw, right? And the AS path, and here he is saying BGP, he is receiving one update. Again, the say according to the story, it's same. We are receiving one update and about this NLRI, and it is, see how surprising, it is denied, right? It is not accepting, right? As the story is very much true, and because due to it is clearly mentioning due to AS path contain our own AS. Oh my god, the story is true. So let me summarize this thing over here. So in BGP, in BGP loop avoidance mechanism, what happened basically, if you want to advertise any network, and that network, if any router receiving in that network, in that prefixes there is own AS number, it will not receive, it will discard again, right? So this is BGP loop avoidance mechanism, right? What happened basically, if any router receiving any route, and in that route or in that network, if there is in update message there is own AS number, in that case it will not receive, and that is why it's clearly mentioned, right? It's very clearly mentioned, you can see. So the story is true, right? Hope you can understand. Now we have to understand that one thing, this is the problem, this is the, it's not problem, it's solution to about the loops. But thing is that we have to understand, if I require this route, right, or if your network manager is saying this route is needed, it's calculated, it's needed, there will not get any loop, right? In that case what will happen? I'm not going to get the route by default. What extra we have to do, right? There is a solutions. Let me show you how it would be. Because my manager wants to receive the route, right? Okay, there is solutions. Okay, so I want to receive this route by avoiding the loop avoidance mechanisms, right? So what going to happen? Let me try. Is there any comment? Okay. Okay, so there is, you can see there is a command allow-in accept AS path with my AS present in it. It's clearly saying if you are allowing this command allow-in, in that case it will allow that prefixes where your own AS number is present. So let's try that, man. Okay, allow in. Okay, is there anything else? Number of occurrence. Okay, I am not going to customize more, I'm going to allow these things, right? So oh my god, automatically something is coming, right, as I have enabled the debug. Okay, so what is happening? It is in revise route, installing one route, that is the route, and it is installed in the global routing table, right? So it immediately installed the route. So let me check iBGP from where. Oh my god, here it is, right? So what happened? There is problem, there is solution, again the problem and the solutions. So what is the solution? Solution was that by default in BGP, it's not receives the eBGP route where own AS number is present, right? Right. So in that case, it is not allowing. That's what I am not be able to receive that route. But if I want to receive that route, right? If I have my separate purpose on that, in that case, I am going to do allow in command, right? There is other way out. Like AS path override, something like that command. You might find this such kind of command to allow this same AS number, right? So there is other 2 way or 3 way you can allow the route where your own AS number present. Hope you have understand. Makes sense, right? Now what about this path, right? Because we learn via this path we have to face the challenge loop avoidance mechanism which prevent the same AS path loop, and we have also overcome that, right, for our specific purpose, right? Now we'll understand the iBGP sections over here, right hand side. Now let me switch up this left hand side eBGP because it's not required for now. We'll focus on the right hand side, which is the iBGP portion only, right? So we'll check. We'll check and cross check. Basically we'll cross check with the story we just heard or we just saw, that there it is clearly mentioned that if there is any iBGP neighbor, right, if this router received any network, that network not gonna advertise to another iBGP enable for the loop avoidance mechanism, right? The same thing we'll check in our lab, the same is happening or not, right? Okay, let me cross it out because already I have opened. Yeah, okay, here you go. Just a minute. Yeah, so this network I'm gonna advertise but before advertise I will check whether rest of router 4 and router 3 what is happening over there, right? So let me advertise over here. I have already enabled the debug, so let me check what is happening basically over here. So as of now I received one pop-up wherein it is clearly mentioned that the receives a route installing, right? The revised route, I'm a bit mistake, it is revised route install, that is the 10.10.30 network, and this is the from the this is from 3.2, right? So iBGP. So this network I have learned, right? And that is the best path, and that is also over here, right? Problem is that over here I am not receiving, as the story is explaining here, there is nothing, only this network should learn from here. All right, so this is received 10.10. With withdrawn, right? This is withdrawn. Let me check over here again. The only route is over here, that is the 10.10.30.0. so what happened basically, I have advertised from here, it is receiving this router and it is not advertising to the router 3, right? So let's go to the diagram. Over here what we saw, as the story shows you, it is advertising over here, but it is not advertising to this router because he is the iBGP neighbor. To prevent the loop, it is not advertising. But for if I need, right, if I need that route and I am the iBGP pair, I have three solutions. Solution number one, I have to make this topology full mesh, right, so that each router should connect it within each, right? If this topology will follow, there is a drawback, right? We have to configure multiple iBGP sessions, right? We have to maintain the network, right? So unnecessary the processor and the memory will be utilized, right? And we have to lots of configuration we have to manage. And second option we have, that is we have to make the one router as a RR. What is RR? Route reflector. So we have to configure one router as a route reflector. So what will do, route reflector will receive all the route from the client, and only he will be responsible to advertise the route to other network, right? Other router, right? So this is how we can achieve. This is the second option, and there is another options to overcome these situations, that is the BGP configurations, right? So that I'm not going to explain over here. That I'm totally explain each and every part in the route reflector sessions, separate video. Now what we'll do over here, we'll make we'll choose the RR part. So we'll make this router as a route reflector, right? Then we'll check whether we are going to advertise the same route in router 3 or not, right? So let me see over here, go there. What I'm going to do, this network I'm going to route reflector client, right? This command I'm going to run for this router 3 to receive that route, right? Before that, let me show over here. Okay, so once I enable this network, right, once I make this route reflector, right, here you can see the identity never reinitiate, right? The never see the topology reinitiate because he become the route reflector, router 4. Now here you can see no valid. Why? Because he received the network. Try to understand again the same issue. We are entrapped. What kind of trap? Trapped is that we are going to receive this network, but it is not valid and based. Why it is not valid and based? Because it is showing the next hop is 3.2 because he has not changed his next hop that we saw in the eBGP scenario, right? The same thing we are facing the iBGP. Now what about this iBGP scenario? How do I solve that? There is solutions. We can solve it out, right? Solution is that, let me make the route reflector for other client, right? Also that is 3.2, suppose 2. Yeah, so now what is the solutions? Let me show you what we are showing. This is the route reflector client. Now we have to configure the next hop self, right? As we have learned in the first section. That's what I have cleared the first section. So this gonna be route reflector client. Router BGP, just a minute. Router BGP 200, and I'm gonna configure next hop self, right? Which we have used the same command we have used for the eBGP scenario, but will it work for the iBGP? No. For that we have to use another additional command, that is the all, right? So we understand the for eBGP we have to use the next hop self, but if we use the route reflector, in that case we have to use next hop self all to work in iBGP. If this command is not working in your router, there is a route map we have to configure to achieve this thing, right? So let's use this thing as it's supporting in my router, right? So next hop self all, I make this thing. Let me make next hop self for other router because I have to advertise to that network also. All right, let me check now. First clear IP BGP star short. Right now it will become the valid one. See, automatically revised route install. Now it is installed. Previously what is saying? He's saying it's an invalid, no valid path, and it shows like this. It shows that there is no valid path. It is showing like this, right? We just saw. Now it is showing after making this next hop self all, it is revised route it install, and it is been installed in the main routing table. And one duplicate messages we are receiving. That is because other reason. That's what let me tell you. So this is now it is valid and installed. Now let me advertise my network also. So run section BGP. So now we have to advertise my network also, right? The same this network, then only I can communicate each other, right? Okay. Network 10.10.40.0 mask 255.255. Right now I am advertising this network. So IP BGP, it is advertising. I have to check in the router 4 whether I am receiving or not. So IP BGP, I am receiving, that is fine. I have to receive in the router 2 as well, right? It is also saying so IP BGP, yeah, I am also receiving. That is also valid and based. Okay, hope you understand, right? So we are advertising. So what basically we did, let me clarify to you. So we make the route reflector client both the router, and we make the command next hop self so that the next hop can be changed to his router. Otherwise we have to re-advertise the connected network, right? Now the problem is solved. I hope from here will be reach ping 10.10.13.10, right? I should reach. If I am not be able to reach, I have to check again. So IP, okay, it's not configured. Let me configure IP 10.10.40.10 to 255.255.255.0, right? Now it will, oh sorry, one mistake I did, that I have not configured the gateway, right? 10.10.40.1. okay, so I have configured the gateway. Now it should reach. Let me save. So I am able to reach from here to there, right? Hope it is clear. Right, what we did, we overcome the iBGP loop from here to here, right? And the same thing we did in FTP server also. Now both the problem is solved. Now if I want to on this router, what will happen? Now this is the most crucial scenario, because it's helped me to avoid the loop, but I am overcoming that also. Let's see what is facing over here. Router 3. So iBGP, right? Just a minute, he is denying. See, if you see again, he is denying because AS path is denying, date associated update and denied, because it will deny because my configuration is not there. So run section BGP, because allow in command is not there, right? So if I configure the allow in now, it will be allowed. Allow AS in, right? So I am allowing the AS in, right? Now check what is happening. Okay, so yeah, we just allow, right? This network we have allowed, and it is taking this path as a valid and best, right? So hope you understand the way I have explained. We understand now. If I summarize this thing, that is, we understand the next hop self, why it is required, right? Second thing is the iBGP loop. Third thing is the eBGP, right? eBGP loop avoidance mechanism, and how we can overcome, right? With the command allow AS path in, another we can AS override, but for that router should support the MPLS, right? But only when it is recommended, once you calculated all this network and stuff, because I have show you in this diagram, because it could be showcased in a single diagram, two loop avoidance mechanism. But thing is that once you overcome this loop avoidance mechanism, automatically it will create loop, right? Because it is advertising right this way and this way also, right? So it will unnecessarily create loop definitely. So that's what you have seen multiple duplicate message. So you might seen that, you might observe. So don't do any loop avoidance overcome if you don't know anything, otherwise it will be a mess, right? I just showcase the possibilities, right? Okay, so thanks for your time.